Good afternoon, folks. John here again. So, the latest episode of the Spiritual Shenanigans. It's been a bit late posting this video this week, but that's because I've been travelling to the Isle of Lismore, where I'll be for the next week. And then at the end of the week, we're going to go across to Iona for a couple of days. So, I'll send you a video from there as well. This here, I'll just try and show you, is a beautiful, beautiful place. And that's a wee ferry just taking foot passengers across to the mainland at Port Appin. There's Port Appin over there. And then as we swing around, straight ahead, and kind of a bit of a mist there in the background, is Ben Nevis. And this is Loch Linnhe. Beautiful, beautiful place. The sun is beating down today. It feels like it's about 25 degrees. And I guess this leads on to what I want to talk about today. I come here, this is my happy place. This is where I unwind completely. And I know the video won't do this place justice, but it's so peaceful here, it's so calm here. There's a beautiful scenery all around me. There's wonderful walks on the island. And the pace of life here is just so much slower. And there's a real community spirit here as well, which, you know, everybody helps everybody out. And I kind of love that. I used to live up in Shetland when I was a young pup, when I was about 18. And that really surprised me. You know, I remember I lived in the island of Bressay, and I bought a really cheap car, you know, no point buying an expensive one. And it wasn't very reliable. So sometimes it would break down on the way to the ferry. And I would make the ferry like by running and just abandon the car, leave the keys in the ignition. And when I came back from work, the car's sitting in the car park and it's all fixed and it's running again. And one of the islanders had fixed my car for me while I was at work. And where I was from, I would expect to pay some money to that person, you know. But up there, it was different. What I had to do in return was do some work labouring for him on his croft. And that was a great deal for me. And a great deal for him, because I was young and fit and I know nothing about cars, so it was a great arrangement, and it really opened my eyes to human connection and community. You know, it was amazing. The same here. It's why I always come here. As soon as you get to the island, and I'm just wandering down at the pier just now, you know, looking back up. Heaven. And now the ferry's pulled over to the other side. There's no noise. And last night reminded me, you know, last night was the first night here. From about 9 o'clock onwards, there was absolutely no sound. It was beautiful. And all I could hear was the water lapping up onto the beach. And that is really good for my soul. And I think today's life, we're rushing around too fast. We're desperate to get to where we want to go to, but we don't take time to enjoy the journey. We're caught in this kind of, the rat trap, if you like, but we're caught up in this cycle of getting up, travel to work, travel home from work, collapse in a heap in the sofa, and repeat for 5 days. And then come the weekend, we're forgetting what life is for. Life is for living. It's not for working all the time. You know, and yes, okay, I can hear people saying, yeah, but you know, you need to earn money. Yeah. Yeah, maybe, you know, but why? You know, why do you feel the drive, the need to earn money is more important than your connection with nature and your connection with the humans? I mean, if you could live here, why would you spoil that by traveling 4 hours to work? Yeah, why would you? Why not work here? And we're programmed to feel we need to work 35 to 40 hours a week. You don't. I'm a strong believer that the universe will always provide exactly what you need when you need it. If you trust in your journey, if you trust in your path. We spend way too much time thinking about what every possibility that could go wrong. Yeah, I can't do it because, yeah, maybe the car will break down next month, or the MOT's due, or yeah, you know. And we've got a classic right now with the energy bills, you know, soaring. I mean, they're not just adding 10 quid a month on; they're adding hundreds of pounds a month on, and people are getting stressed, and people are getting anxious about this. At our level, at an individual level, we feel helpless. We feel there's nothing we can do. For me, I've already started looking at, okay, how much energy do I need to run my house? So it's a 4-bedroom house. There's only 2 of us in it. Yeah, so I can probably get away with 6 kilowatt battery in my house, you know, to run for a day and cover everything. So how do I charge that 6 kilowatt battery? So there's solar, there's wind, you know, and how do I get away from my reliance on gas for the heating? Again, you can look at air source pumps, you can look at ground source pumps, you can even look at putting underfloor heating and run off electricity rather than gas. You know, there's all sorts of options. But the biggest thing for me right now, your anxiety, your worrying about the energy and the prices and, you know, what's coming, doesn't change the outcome. So it's a wasted energy. That energy could be deployed in much better ways. And we have to, as a world, we have to wake up and look at how we are providing the vital services. Look at how we're using the resources. And we're not doing it in a very good way. This is all profit driven. This is greed behind all of this. If you look at the UK, we privatised all this stuff from the 80s onwards with the promise that we'd get a better service and more competition. What a load of shit. If the government had still owned the gas and the oil companies that produce the gas and the oil in the North Sea, if they still owned the infrastructure through British Gas and Centrica, they wouldn't have to sell their gas on the wholesale market. They could use that gas and charge the customers whatever price they wanted to charge. And it could be a very low price, because ultimately they don't really need to make much of a profit. They just need to cover the costs. But instead, we're feeding the greed. And because of that, our system, I think, is on the verge of collapse. Because the one thing you need in a capitalist society is you need workers. You need the fucking idiots at the bottom of the pile that will carry on making the goods, will carry on providing the services, while the rich fat bastards are ploughing and taking everything, raping the fucking world, you know. That is now at a tipping point, and I don't think that's by accident. That to me is very deliberate. We need to go back to a more sustainable way of living, and we need to go back and think and appreciate what we used to have. I remember in the 70s as a kid, you know, this greed wasn't that prevalent then. Everything in the UK virtually was owned by the government. And we bought local, you know. We had shops, we had a dairy, we had butchers, bakers. They all bought their goods from farmers within the surrounding area. So the whole food chain was local. And you changed what you ate according to the seasons. And we have to reconnect with this again. It's no accident that this is happening. When you look at how our industries work, the retail, like in the supermarkets, they keep on telling us that it is the consumer that is driving this, and that's total bullshit. What's driving this is their profits to the shareholders. That's what's driving it. And I mean, why are we driving stuff 700-800 miles all around the country just to feed supermarkets? Everywhere, especially Scotland here, everywhere has got enough local to feed the local population. So let's go back to that, a more sustained way of life, a connection with our community. And maybe one day, this is what I would call home. Maybe I can live here, I don't know, I'd love to live here. But until then, I'm just going to come back and visit and holiday here as much as I can. So, now that the rant is over, I've got a special video coming next week. For a long time now I've been drawn to Iona, and it's finally going to happen next weekend. And so what I'll do, I'm going to do a special video from Iona next week, and it'll be more spiritually focused, and I can't wait to feel the energy of that place. So again, try and not worry too much about what is going on around you in the world. Ultimately, there's nothing you can do to change the outcome. So use your energy in a better way. Look at what you can do. Focus on you. And start looking at how we can better serve our communities. How we can go back to local produce, local services, helping each other. So, thanks for listening today, and I'll catch up with you soon. Enjoy your week. Take care.